$37.6 million for sex workers, their clients, and transgender individuals in South Africa. While I acknowledge the complex global changes USAID seeks to address, we must ask a fundamental question. Are we truly fulfilling our responsibility to the American people when we allocate tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars for programs abroad while neglecting critical, and yes, I said critical needs right here at home, just like districts in South Carolina's 3rd District, which I represent? I struggle to explain to veterans in Newberry County who's fighting to find a job why our resources are directed overseas to programs that don't enhance our national security instead of supporting his career prospects. We've mentioned health care. I watched a veteran with his face in his hands sobbing because he couldn't get health care needs met. We've talked about the mental health needs that he couldn't get met. And he said to me, I feel like I'm a hamster in a wheel. I can't get out of the process. I find it difficult to justify to families in Greenwood that are facing mounting medical bills while resources are being spent on programs abroad, when those funds could expand access to vital health care services in their own community. I question how we can prioritize funding initiatives overseas, when we have cybersecurity vulnerabilities in Anderson County that threaten local businesses and critical infrastructure. For those of us who are guided by Christian values, the principle of charity begins at home. It resonates strongly with me. While we are called to care for all of God's children, there is also a natural and an understandable inclination to prioritize the needs of our immediate community, our fellow citizens, and those within our own nation. Let me be very clear. This is not about abandoning our global responsibilities. It's about investing in the very foundation of our nation, our communities, our families, and our future. It's about ensuring that the hardworking people of South Carolina's 3rd District and all across the nation are not left behind while resources are directed to woke programs that do not advance American interest. So my question to our witnesses is very simple. What went wrong, and why did the oversight measures fail to prevent taxpayer money from being spent on wasteful programs that don't put America first?
Accountability and transparency, and it's this body, and I was a part of this body, we didn't do our job, is what I feel. The American people sent us up here to do something. We hear the IG reports, this person that got fired, he got fired, he was the IG, made a report, gets fired. There's an IG report every year. We don't act, and if we don't act, this is what happens. We complain about everything that's bad, and then we don't act, and then when somebody like Trump comes in, and there'll be somebody after that, and when they come in and they do this, we get upset. We've got to fix Congress. That's why people send us here.
I would also add that what I've seen over the past 25 years is the progressive left has gradually just seized control over the entire foreign aid industrial complex. And that's something, the political sociology of the industry has to be changed. If we're not, otherwise we're going to have this same vicious circle occur again and again.
Thank you.
Just let me add, there is a large number of Mormons at AID. I've never met a communist Mormon before. There aren't any that I know of. I don't theologically agree with them, but I have great respect for the Mormons. There's a very large number of practicing Catholics in AID and evangelicals. And there's a large number, as I said earlier today, of missionary kids who were, why? Because they speak the languages of the countries they were brought up in. And they make wonderful foreign service officers, and many of them have risen to the senior levels of the agency. Is there a contingent of younger, very liberal? Yes, there are, but it's very mixed. And my experience in the agency, maybe it's changed, is that when you ask officers to do something, they do it. I didn't used to have to ask their backgrounds. I just said, I want this done. And if they didn't do it, I would take action. I actually fired 16 senior people when I was in office.
Thank you, Mr.
3 of whom were
Natchez.
political.
Gentlelady's time has expired.